Hey guys, what's going on? It's Andrew from AR Media, and tonight's video I want to review Pokémon Detective Pikachu on 4K UHD Blu-ray. So let's hop straight into the movie on this one. I missed this one in theaters, and as a huge Pokemon fan, I was really pumped to see this one. So let's get straight into the movie. So like I said, I'm a long, die-hard Pokemon fan. I grew up with this stuff. I had the cards, watched the movies, really anything Pokemon I could get my hands on, I got my hands on, and just watched thoroughly. I loved it. I knew all 151, and then as it expanded, I kept following the Pokemon. And I feel like that's what you really need going into this movie. Now, if you were to go into this movie and just vaguely know about Pokemon and really not know the names or be able to point them out, I don't think you'll enjoy this movie that much. I don't think the story was that strong. I think where this movie really hits is that nostalgia factor, and that's where it really had me geeking out and smiling and laughing and pointing at the screen, was just seeing stuff like Pidgey and Snorlax and Gyarados and Charizard on screen in live action and live battles and Pokemon Stadium. I mean, all those callbacks to the games and to my childhood was really the main reason I like this movie. But I can't say that the story itself was that captivating. And if I didn't know Pokemon beforehand, I don't know if I really would have kept through with this movie and sat through. And I know for sure I wouldn't have enjoyed it as much as I did. So really, in my eyes, this is just a Pokemon movie, not a Detective Pikachu movie. This is more about seeing Pokemon in the real world, and if you're a super fan of Pokemon, you have to see this one. So now let's get to the video quality on this one. So this is a 2K digital intermediate, and I wish I could give a better rating and review for this one, but this one is a very, very soft image. So this was shot on 35mm film, so we do get a layer of grain here, but it looks like that layer of grain was even pushed, and it looks like there was a post-process filter of some sort that softened the image. The detail from the Blu-ray to the 4K really isn't much of a difference, and nothing has that digital sharpness to pop off the screen, and I think that the material lends really well to that. These digital Pokemon, especially Pikachu with the fur, would look really good if we could see every individual strand and as if he came off the screen with a three-dimensional pop. But because of the softness to the image, there really is no three-dimensional pop, and even the depth separating them from the foreground from the background is not greatly improved over the Blu-ray, and I'm very sad to hit on that point. So this is also going to have black bars as a 2:3:9 aspect ratio, so don't go into it expecting full screen. We do have black bars throughout. So now let's get to the HDR on this. I definitely thought this is where it would shine, but the HDR is pretty subdued here as well. Don't get me wrong, it definitely has its moments with the Charizard battle and Gyarados, Mewtwo moments. Right in the beginning scene, you definitely have some bright flashes. I mean, the Growlists are working with the fire department. The fires, the highlights, it definitely has some decent HDR, but I was expecting a lot more. And again, I think this comes down to that softness of this filter over the image where nothing really is pinpoint sharp. And I get that they did it because it's a noir type detective style film, but I really think that the digital image would have helped the picture and the HDR immensely. The HDR really is nothing to write home about, and the shadow detail is minimally improved. So now let's get to the Dolby Atmos on this mix, and this is another disappointment. I thought the surrounds would be used pretty immensely here, especially during the battle scenes, and they are used but not very greatly, and the overheads are used sparingly, only in a few scenes. Now I did think this was going to be a more dynamic mix as well. I felt myself having to turn this up a bit. The dialogue itself was extremely low. Definitely had to turn the receiver up a few dB, and overall this mix wasn't too great. Not enough use of the surround, not enough use of the overheads, not too dynamic, and a very low mix. So overall, guys, I think this movie was great if you're a Pokemon super fan like myself, but otherwise, I would actually skip this one or pick it up on Blu-ray or stream it just because the picture quality is pretty disappointing. I was actually majorly disappointed when I watched it. The audio quality was pretty disappointing as well, and you're not getting too much of a step up from the regular Blu-ray by buying this 4K. So anyway, guys, I'm going to leave a description in this link for this movie. Using that link gives me a small kickback to review more 4Ks for you. So let me know in the comments, what do you think of Detective Pikachu? What do you think of the transfer? And I'll see you guys in the next video.